We are live on Zoom and live on Facebook. This is Friday Business Seminar with Dr. John Luke Komona. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on both media, Facebook and YouTube. And I hope that you're gonna listen and hear my voice clearly because I'm in a very new environment, also very new signal. I hope it will be sustainable. I'm very much used to the other place where I normally broadcast, but I'm moving slowly into the city center where we have this huge hall. And I believe that it's gonna go very, very well. And I also apologize if you hear some noises behind the other people waiting over the other side. But we are ready to go. This is Friday's seminar with Dr. John Luke Komona, and on the back office, I have got my dear friend David Smukoko is over there right in Zambia, and a few other people may be joining soon. And today, before we proceed, I just want to make a few announcements. On Amazon, there are books that we sell because we want to share knowledge. Good things are worth sharing. And I hope people on Facebook and YouTube, you can access Amazon, www.amazon.co.uk or amazon.com. Just type in John Luke Komona. Once you do that, you see all my books come out. I'd like you to choose as a priority an effective entrepreneur. That's a very, very good book. I guarantee you, once you read that book, it's going to bless you so much. That book is actually a syllabus for those people who are on the entrepreneurship course. It looks at cost-benefit analysis, business planning. It also looks at strategy, the things that you really need to know when you are running a business or you're bound to launch a business. So you need to have a look at that book, An Effective Entrepreneur. And for those who are right here in Warsaw, I've got the copies in the college shop. Just pop in and get one. People are being blessed with those books written in a very simplified manner and simplified style so that you can follow it step by step to implement your business or improve knowledge on the gaps where you are, because all of us are continuous learning students. I'm always learning continuously. Never to stop learning. The moment you stop learning, you lag behind. Okay, there is also another book. It's a series. I'm working on Every African is a Millionaire. Beautiful book, wonderful book. It's coming very soon. It's just in conception. But emanating from this idea, which we have already completed, is Every Zambian is a Millionaire, part 1 and part 2. This is a motivational series. It was written in 2010. And I remember one gentleman in London bought the copy, 2 copies, part 1 and part 2. He said, in many, many years, he's never read a book. He's eating on the side, and the book is on his other hand. He goes to the loo, he's got the book. The last time he ever read a book like that was by Chinua Achebe, No Longer at Ease, those African Writers series. In our time, we used to read those books. Whether you were doing literature or not, you had to read it because they're so beautifully written. So my books are in that range. Why? Because they are beautifully written and prescripted and touches many people in the mainland Africa and many people in the diaspora. But at the end of it all is a business book. There's a bit of satire in there, but much of it is autobiography. You get to know a bit about myself. Excellent. So I'm inviting you to those books. So just go on Amazon and you'll be able to find those books. And another announcement before we go into the discussion is this. We are enrolling, this is October, going into November, on entrepreneurship. We are enrolling on the biblical life studies. We're enrolling. We are also enrolling on the health and social care programs. Now, there's a special point on the health and social care programs. the United Kingdom is in a critical shortage of carers, meaning the healthcare sector is understaffed. The locals can't satisfy the market. So as a result, the British government has opened up to the world, as at least I know many African countries. Check on the Home Office list whether your country is opened up to come and work in the UK through the care work. So WMOC, the organization which I lead, with many other people in the organization credible to teach, we are also offering externalized care certificate. We are calling it care certificate for internationals. It is the same syllabus as the locals. It's just to make sure that you understand that you are eligible to study by distance learning. And then we match you up as a core value, not as a contract, with potential employers. Of course, when you pass the course, you're free to apply to any employer out there in the UK or anywhere in the world. I just wanted you to know about these things which is available. Excellent. So we will be home and drive. Now, for those people who want to make comments, live discussions, I always say you can come in through the Zoom on the back office, and I'm going to shout the number for those on Facebook. It is 840-7538-7265, and the password is 451493. Excellent. Now we are home and drive. Now, before we go into the discussion, I'd just like to welcome those people on Zoom. Welcome, Albert. Good to see you. I've got so many Alberts. I don't know which Albert this is. Is it Albert M? Is it Albert K? You're going to introduce yourself later on. You're welcome. David, you're welcome. You're very punctual. I like your attitude. You've got a winning attitude. You always come in before I come in the room. Hey. This David watching.
Okay.
On Facebook and Zoom, there's a man called David Simukoko. Watch him. He comes in the room before I get in there. He makes me run. I love that. It's a winning attitude. Excellent. So say hello to the to people, David, very quickly.
Hello. Good evening, viewers. We're pleased to have you this evening, and we wish to learn together as we soldier on in our business lessons, and we are inspired by Dr. Lukomona. Such a privilege to have such men in our dispensation. It's really a blessing to our dispensation, and I pray that everyone else follows along as we explains further in our business venture this evening, and also that we implement these truths that Doc is putting out to us, not just head knowledge, but reduce whatever Doc is putting out to us in practice. It's a rare privilege. Stick around, and good evening.
Thank you so much. I can see it's Dr. Albert Mulando.
Oh, yes.
It's Dr. Albert Mulando, my twin young brother.
Yes.
when you two meet, I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, yes. I really look forward to that.
Yes.
You know?
Your friend is on holiday in Greece.
He's in Greece. All right.
Would you greet the audience, Dr. Mulando, please, in your own ways?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Albert Mulando. I'm based here in Manchester. I really am looking forward to this powerful meeting that we'll have this evening. Just as David said, you know, we are looking forward to having a lot of take-homes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's quickly go on the bites of business ethics and principles before we go back to chew the role of African entrepreneurship in raising the economy of Africa. First and foremost, we need to understand certain fundamentals which should always be taught to our families. I recap: if a businessman or woman, you must have this one hand there, and you must also have this hand over here. This one is your personal business account. So wherever you are, I want you to do this. This is my personal business account. You do that all the time. This is your personal business account. Then this one is, let's start again. This is your personal account. This is your business account. Now, we agreed last week whether you are registered as a sole trader or limited company, you must always have two separate accounts, the business and the personal. Now, if your business makes money, you must write an invoice in the name of the business. Let all the money go through the business first of all, account. Then if you want to pay yourself, write an invoice. If you are self-employed, write an invoice to the business will pay you. If you're a sole trader, the same pattern. Write the invoice, let all the money go through the business account. If you want to get paid, write an invoice and charge your business, it pays you. Then you file this at the end of the year, called returns. Do not be afraid of the taxman. The taxman is a very, very good person, and I'll tell you why. In fact, it's very favorable to business people. He likes or she likes business people a lot. When you file a return, it has a record of all the transactions you did between yourself and the company. They see this as prudence, and they've got their own threshold to calculate when you start paying a certain percentage of your income. And they also see that you are a compliant person. So you are on their database. Now, in their own calculations, over so many years, or what they call the accounting year or period, if they discover that your contribution actually has exceeded what you're supposed to do to pay, they actually write you a lump sum as a payback to you. How beautiful is that? It only happens to people who keep clean records. It has happened to me many times. The first time it happened to me was really bad because I never knew anything about what I'm telling you today. I got a big letter, hey, and my legs went cold. They said I owed the taxman £45,000. Over 3 years, I never reported a single return because I was ignorant. So they wrote a letter called determination. In their determination, when they looked on my business records, they think this company is probably made a lot of money. This company owes us £45,000. So I received that letter and I started shaking. Then I remember one preacher said, when you receive a letter like that, calm down. Don't shake. Leave it, walk about, have a cup of tea, come back to it. So I did the same, but the thing wasn't going away. I walked about, I had a cup of tea, I came back, I found the letter was still there. Then I said, oh, I'm finished. Then I realized that actually I've got my personal accountant and also my business accountant. I just picked up the phone. I said, people, your time has come to do some real business for me. They said, what is it? I've got this letter. They need £45,000 from me. The accountant said, John, you are on your own. That's the only area we cannot help you. If you've got money, just go and pay. I said, Lord of mercy. Then I said, what if I bring all the records? I said, no. All you need to do, first of all, open that letter and read it to me. So I read the letter to the man and said, relax. What's the title of the letter? It says determination. So, relax. So he called me now, the accountant, and he told me, okay, you have not been submitting your returns. So he just helped me to submit my returns. And when I submitted, second letter came to me, said, you do not owe anything. And from that time, I submit my records. Now I receive good letters. One of them I received was a payback. One of my businesses, it was too much money we paid, so they give us 3 grand. Another one was £1,000. So when you keep your records, principles number 1, distinguish them from your business account and the personal account. Keep submitting. When you submit to the Inland Revenue tax money, you're also helping the country move forward. You're helping the government do certain things. Governments don't do business. When people pay taxes, that's how they now gain money to be able to do services in your community. Ambulances, hospitals, name it, comes from taxes. So as a business person, be very, very meticulous in the way you keep your records. Fantastic. Those are the bites I want you to take home. Taxman is not as bad as you think. And I want people to have this in mind, because many people don't keep records. Because if you don't keep records, one day you will have a penalty. But be compliant. Excellent. So now let's move on. I want us to look at the aspect of the role of an entrepreneur in the African continent. I want us to start from this premise. Number 1, an entrepreneur is a problem solver. What does that mean? An entrepreneur solves problems through a business vehicle. An entrepreneur likes to hear where problems are. When a country or a nation or a community is going through certain difficulties, the entrepreneurial mind must kick in. What does it mean? It means that you can structure a solution around that problem. And that's what makes people wealthy in 2 ways: wealthy in helping people and wealthy financially. My target is to be making at least £1,000 an hour. Every hour that passes, I'm making £1,000. That's my target in the next 8 months by God's grace. And I'll tell you how this can be possible. Because somebody else, as I'm talking right now, is making £70,000 per hour. It is the way you look at problems and the size of problem that you solve. And I also lament sometimes people in the African continent who are running away to go to other countries because the economy is hard. You are running away from an opportunity to make you wealthy. But I'm not saying that you cannot travel abroad. No, you can travel as you feel. But I want you to know that an entrepreneur is a problem solver. Now let's go back to this question. What problems do we have in Africa? Number 1, let's talk about water. Let's talk about construction. Let's talk about education. Let's talk about communication, roads, communication, telecommunication, and many other aspects. Ask yourself, wherever you are, if these problems exist, what can I do as an entrepreneur to make these services available to the community? That's where you start from, you see. You're not thinking about a hobby where you say, I like, I like playing football. No, we're talking about problems which are affecting other people. That is where an entrepreneur comes in, a creative mind. The light bulb we have here was created because there was a problem of darkness. Now, when you discover that problem in the community, and how you discover it is by hearing what people are complaining about. You understand it? What people are complaining about, what governments are manifesting in their papers, in their manifestos, what councils have in their white papers, that's where business ideas are. Because those are problems they want to solve in the community. Who is going to do it? It is no other than you as an entrepreneur. That's where we call opportunity is found. There are some people that have been born with ideas in their hearts. God just dropped it in there. Of course, those will be very useful because you're going to work the other way around. Out of your own idea, how do you translate this into finding the customers? Now, where we are now as Africans in the mainland Africa and in the diaspora, how are we going to identify those entrepreneurial problems? My point is, do not go far away. Just listen to the politicians. I like politicians. Politicians, in fact, one day I said, oh, let me not say this in a very harsh way. I'll say, if some politicians, if some believers are the heart like politicians, I think we can match progress. We can make much progress. Why? Because politicians are very quick to switch. A politician, you can be with him or her today here, propagating this route. The moment they find it's not working, they go this way. They join your opponent. In a way, that flexibility is good because you don't want to be pushing a door which has got no sense. An entrepreneur must be like that. If your business has reached a plateau, there's no more market, people are no longer interested in this product, there's no way pushing that product forward. They are telling you the problem is here. You must switch. If you're not skilled in that area of need, find experts who are skilled in that area of need and partner together, which is the principle of a Makaya wing. When you partner together, you structure that vehicle and people begin to buy from you. They come to you in exchange, they give you money. Now that's when our wealth of finances come in. Because they found the valuableness of the solution you're offering, they give you money. In the first instance, you didn't go there to be an entrepreneur to find money. No, no, no. Anybody who goes out there to go and look for money, they never find nothing. They find zero. Hello, Oliver. Good to see you. Fantastic, Oliver. Excellent. So each time you rise up in the morning to go and look for money, you would find now nothing. People who go out to solve problems, they'll always find money. Why? Because when I bring a solution to you, in exchange, I want a price. So you give me the money, I give you the solution. Taking that to the next level, if you want to make it even real big, for example, if I'm in a village and I find there's no boreholes there, people are drinking dirty water from the stream of river. I sit down and structure a small, nice project where I dig boreholes and I put a meter on the boreholes. You press button, this thing sucks water from the ground. It gives people water. So on the buttons there, I put a price, £2 per liter. You press it, it only opens 2 liters, it closes. You've got a business going for yourself. That's how you become a problem solver, by finding problems and structuring ideas around it. Then they give you money in exchange for the solution. Now, governments are very sharp. That's why I like politicians. Once they hear about you, they'll say, in my constituency as MP, we are doing great things. Our people are very innovative. Under my leadership as MP, I told you I'm wise. You voted a wise person. Look what I've done. People have got clean water. Entrepreneurs are doing well. They buy into your idea. Before you know, every other constituency wants your idea. You are now wealthy. Now let's multiply this. I want people in Zoom to work with me. Let's assume let's make it £1.50 per liter. Make sure you have a calculator. £1.50 per liter in one constituency from the borehole per liter, and let's say 50,000 people come to buy from there. Okay, so if we can, £1.50 per liter, and each of these 50,000 people are drinking average 2 liters per day. 2 liters per day per person. So multiply for me. So £1.50 times 2 liters per day times 50,000 people. How much money is that?
150,000.
How much?
150,000.
Ooh, £150,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is constituency. Let's see who's helping this constituency. Just think of any name. Okay, let's say this is David Simkoko's constituency. I'm safer this way.
Okay.
Simko constituency. Let's go to another constituency. Now, Albert Mando constituency, you have all heard about this thing. The population in your constituency is 90,000 people. Can you work it out for me, please? They want the same project. 90,000, 150 times 2 liters, times 90,000. How much money would they make? £1.50 times 2 times 90,000.
That's about 270,000.
270,000, right?
Yeah.
And let's add this together. 150,000 plus 270,000. How much is that?
That goes to 420,000.
420,000. Now let's assume this is happening. They're drinking this water. We drink water on a daily basis, believe me. This is daily basis. I don't think anybody lives without drinking water. Should we assume they're drinking this every day?
Not assuming. I mean, that's like air. You need it.
Yes. So it's a daily
it's a
thing.
need. It's not a want. We can only assume that they are also bathing, but drinking, that's definite.
Okay, let's work on this premise. So in a day, if all these 50,000 people do this activity, we are talking about 420,000, right?
Yeah.
Daily. Now, how many days are in a week?
7.
Times 7. Multiply this number by 7. How much money is that?
That goes 2,940,000.
Almost 2.9 million, yeah?
That's 2.9 million, yes.
Yes, 2.9 million a week.
A week.
I think let's go in water, guys. Let's walk. Now let's convert this into hours per hour. How many hours are in a week?
168, I think.
Okay, so divide by 2 million divided by 168.
That's 17,000.
500.
17,000 an hour.
17,500 an hour, yes.
Yeah, you see now. You see now, this is what we're talking about. An entrepreneur must now, after you find a solution, you work out the parameters. We call it critical mass. Critical mass is how many people can buy into your business as customers. And on this point, I'm going to open up for discussion now. I think I've laid the ground. Why an African entrepreneur has more power to change the economies of Africa. I think it's the way we think, the way we calculate figures, we ignore what is essential. This is a simple borehole. We can, if you have these boreholes in all constituencies, and this population we're talking about is even little, 50,000 people. Many of these are 100,000, 400,000. David, can you hear that now?
I'm getting it.
You want to leave Zambia?
I'm getting it. It's,
now, let's start with £17,000 per hour. With a backbone of investors. They dig these nice, may not even be boreholes. We can be drawing this water from natural fresh rivers. Africa has fresh rivers. Nice meters, these ones. Take it to a larger scale. Water and sewage companies, this is the money they make. Even more because we only calculated it on 2 liters. Now, do you understand where the power of solution is as an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
People on Facebook, You are very welcome. Now let's talk, guys. The role of an entrepreneur in Africa in solving Africa's problem. How far-fetched is it? Last week we had Professor Clive Chilwa. He shared his hurdles that he discovered when he went to Africa. Africans themselves did not want to receive his products, but when foreigners got his products, they went and sold it back to Africa. Now, our question here, let's digest on this point, because these ideas, I know they are there. People think like this. Sometimes they ignore to think like this. It's just motivating ourselves. How much more are we going to do as entrepreneurs to break that mindset? Let's now have a discussion. How do we break that mindset of negating the effort of our own people at the expense of good profits for the continent? And we give it to other people the same idea, the same problem. Now let's talk about that in brief. You're open Facebook, as usual, can type in your comments, those people in the back office. And if you want to switch from Facebook into the back office, the number is again 840-7538-7265. And the passcode is 451493. I can't type because I'm in a new studio, so I haven't put all my gadgets are not here. So who wants to go first there? Yeah, Dr. Albert, how do we break the mindset of Africans not liking their own produce and they want to buy into other people's ideas who come from maybe the Western world, maybe other people? Because that could be a very big hurdle. We heard from Professor Clive Chilwa last week, how he suffered. Unmute yourself, Albert. You're muted.
That's a huge hurdle. I mean, for entrepreneurs African entrepreneurs to run in Africa. That mindset of, not accepting what other Africans are doing as being of the quality that, you can consume will take a long time to beat, because even, where help, even if you were, if you are within Africa, you're not from the diaspora, just you accessing funding or finances, not necessarily grants, but just loans. It's very, very difficult if you are from within the crop. If you are from outside and of a different ethnicity, it's easy. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why it's like that in Africa, but despite all those problems, we should persevere as African entrepreneurs.
So, is it, let me, before I put my question again there, David, what's your view? How do we break that thing? How do we break it?
So just like Dr. Halbert has stated, it's something that we need, I think we need to start from the business institutions like banks, because I cannot go into a project without funding. And many of the times that I tried to do a project, then you go to the bank, they tell you, we need this. They literally make everything so hard for you, just so that you just don't go back tomorrow. So if we can have system where it's supporting the nationals, I think every country is able to support the nationals, the locals, to sort of get money from the bank and invest it, because the best investment is not, the best capital is not that money you start all by yourself, but that which you get from the bank. So if I can go to the bank, get money from the bank and start business all by myself, that would be very helpful for every African resident, because the systems in our banks do not favor nationals. They favor foreigners. If a foreign investor comes and he wants to start a project, the banks are more than, they will even follow them. But for a national to go and get money from the bank, it's impossible. So if only we can have a system that will help Africans as Africans to go to their banks and get money, I think it will help us. And that's why coming back to your question that you either asked, saying, why do you want to come over the UK? It's things like that that would make someone to step out, make money. I was telling my wife yesterday to say, I have a burden for Zambia, a very big burden for Zambia. But it's things like this that makes people to step out maybe and come back. When you know you can now stand on your own, you can now address certain issues on your own. Thank you.
Thank you. Just before somebody comes in, let me help Matthew. Matthew, I know you're watching on Facebook. The number to get in is still the same as last week, it's 840. Don't use the one we did for Professor. We gave him a special one. Today it's 840-7538-7265. And the passcode is 451493. And you'll be able to come in the back. So there's no need to wait, we will just let you in. So Matthew, I repeat for you. Sorry, I can't type, I don't know, can I type here? Oh yes, I.
Just shout it out and I'll type.
On Facebook, yeah?
No, I'm on Zoom, sorry.
840, I've just discovered it. Wow, we learn every day, you know. 840-7265, yeah. And the passcode, PS code. Welcome, Ategeka. It's 451493. Perfect. So you'll be able to get in. Excellent. Yes. Who was supposed to speak? Was about to come in? Yes, there's a point of solution. I'm thinking because I've never seen entrepreneurs in any African continent do a campaign on the street with a placard that says, let's do business together as Africans. Should we do this? Because we want to solve these problems once for all. Where we all entrepreneurs, business owners on the ground in Africa with placards, value our products. What am I showing there? Value our products. Each company comes with banner. Value our products. Buy our local products. Give us bank loans. Help us to learn better. You know, lobbying, campaigning. I think these things need to be upfront. Because you know the story we heard about Professor Chiwa last week, where the same product he wanted to sell to an African country, they didn't accept it. He sold it to some, I think he's Arabians, who came back to sell the same product back into Africa. I think we ought to have this is a smart campaigning. We are talking about the problem, but there needs to be a smart push where we say this day to day is Africa, lobbying Africa to have trust in African entrepreneurs. We kick it in Uganda, we kick it in Nigeria, we kick it in Zambia. On a day, it's a peaceful demonstration saying, let's buy into our own products. Let's support local entrepreneurs. Let's learn to buy from one another. I think the drive to do this, once it's well done, Africa can do even better. But also, there must be discipline on banking. We opened this program on banking. I know I work in the community and I'm a consultant. Some businesses, even 14 years later, they do not have bank accounts. I've failed to convince them. So who want to come in? We're looking at how do we change the mindset there. Hello, Mr. Msonda, good to see you. Your internet is struggling. How do we change? How do we change? How do we break this problem? My suggestion to one of these, the very entrepreneurs must learn how to bank, because many of them don't put money in the bank. So banks don't even know them. So banking is number one. So who would like to come in there? Grace, how would you want us to change this issue of not wanting our own products, not wanting our own services at a larger scale? What is your solution?
I think the solution has to start with the mindset. We have to value our own products ourselves, starting from the top, especially the people in power of influence. When they, because when somebody is in power of influence, it's easy to formulate policies and it's easy to influence the community. If themselves value the local products and then they promote them, then everybody will follow. But if the people in the top there don't even value the Zambian products, they go and shop their groceries abroad, outside Zambia, how do you expect a Zambian, also a common Zambian, when they also get money, they would want to go and shop abroad? Because
we have to be broad. This is the African affair, because we have got many Africans listening to this. It's not just Zambians, because I know it's very common. As where I'm sitting as principal of Westminster Open College, I've got many applicants from different parts of Africa. Young, energetic blood. They all want to fly out. So my problem is, how do we make sure that the reason is not because of the entrepreneurial effects on the ground? And you just rightly mentioned the mindset and the politicians, the power in office. You mean the politicians to promote. How would you want them to promote apart from them buying this produce?
One of the things how they can promote is like restricting the bringing in goods which you already have, which you already manufacture in the country. Let's say food. We grow a lot of vegetables, like in Zambia, tomatoes and what. If they can restrict the importation of tomatoes in the supermarkets, because in some supermarkets like ShopRite and what, you find that sometimes there are foreign perishable goods which are coming in, which are also in Zambia. Tomato is going to waste when you go to Sokone market or go to city market, because there are no buyers, but you find foreign tomatoes in the supermarkets. So
Okay,
there people will be convinced maybe to say something from outside is better than what they have. So if we can restrict on the importation of the things which we can grow in our own countries, or which we can produce in our own countries, that will promote us to use our own products and to start thinking what we have, and even to encourage the young ones to go into innovations.
Okay, let me have a comment from Uganda. Ategekas, what's your viewpoint here? Do you have the same problem, locals not liking their own produce in the country? Would you come and mute yourself? Atega from Uganda. Excellent. Oops. Can you unmute yourself and have your comment? Can you unmute yourself? Okay. Oh yes, he's muted. Yes. What's your viewpoint on that?
Good evening, Doctor. I've come in a bit late. I wasn't following.
Okay. The question is, does Uganda also experience whereby Ugandans don't fancy their own produce? They would rather buy a product that has come from Europe or from another country. Is that problem still also in Uganda?
We most of the time we produce our own products, especially the agricultural products, and we do a lot of exporting to the outside countries.
Okay. Now, if I put a product here on the left, it's from Italy. On the right, it's from Uganda. And the same kind of, let's say a mango. I just pick mango. One mango from Uganda, one mango from Italy. And I've got 100 Ugandans. How many of us will buy the Uganda mango as opposed to the Italian mango? I said, how do you think? Would many people go for the foreign mango or the local mangoes? Hello, can you hear me? Okay. I'm having challenges to get at it because the internet was very bad there. She'll be back again. Let's explore that thought. Because let's explore that thought. Hello, madam. Yeah, let's explore that thought. David, you had a point. Your hand is up.
Yes. I was following what Madam Grace said. Just maybe a build up on what she said. If we can, as Africa now, if we can build bridges as Africa, by that I mean if we can come together, unite as the business world, and be able to transact as Africa, and maybe by way of transacting in a way that we start producing finished products. Like, let me cite an example here in Zambia. We have copper. Our copper is sold, I can't even say semi-finished. It's sold direct from the mines. They just do the first part and it's sold like that, meaning it is going to sort of disrupt or rather kill a lot of jobs that would have been created for use and many other people on the way if the copper which was produced had gone through the whole process of purification and everything else, and you come up with cables or whatsoever, and then you sell it. So we don't have finished, we are not so much into production and sort of you produce and then you sell finished products as Africa. And even when we want to sell, the people that dictate the prices is the outside world, the Western world. It's going to set prices for our copper, to set prices for everything that you want to export. So if we can have a system where, as Africa, we are able to transact amongst ourselves, let's say Congo produces their gems, they are able to be sold in Zambia, other Sudan can buy, Nigeria can buy, Uganda can buy. We are able to keep money within ourselves, within our circle as Africa. Then we can, I think we can, the entrepreneurship world can grow, and not just growing, but we are going to also signal to the Westerners that we can do on our own. We will not focus and draw so much on their aid, their grants, and everything else, because by then we would have had a channel, and the money is coming, resources are coming to just be a circle revolving around. And I think we can manage that way.
Okay, that's a good point. We are going to labor on that one as part of breaking the mindset. We are talking about the role of entrepreneurship in Africa. African entrepreneurs, what's their role in boosting the economies of Africa? We identified some few problems from the case study of Professor Clive Chilwa, who went to Zambia about 10 years ago, and what he proposed was not accepted, but the same kind of idea, he sold it to another group of people outside Africa, and they bought the idea and they went and sold the same idea to another African country. And that African country is enjoying the benefit simply because a third-party source brought it back to them. And yet our own very person was rejected. So the question is, how do we break the mindset? There's some views being given on the panel. The last view is the trade corridor of Africa. I just want to go back to that point. The purpose of Africa Union, SADC, and all these other areas is to do just that. Part of the economic drive is to buy into one another's products. And I'm sure now there's another African trade corridor that's come up on the scene. Many countries have signed up to it. There'll be trade agreements. I don't know if Zambia has signed up to it already, or Uganda or Tanzania. Quite a good number of countries in Africa have now signed up for it. The question is the implementation. Will they implement this? Will they make it work? Do they have the drive to do this? Do they have the charisma? What are the benefits? That's why the question is. I think many of these things are there and was prescripted. Now, let's go and hear a viewpoint from Matthew. Welcome. You managed to get in. Yes. So we are chewing on the same points as we were listening on Facebook. So come in on that point. What's your viewpoint on the trade corridors of Africa? You unmute yourself. You're muted.
Unmuted.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, hello.
So anyway, trade corridor, like my fellow brothers just said, Africa, the only difficulty we have is like we had last week from a prof that we tend to love external, Vawazungu, products than our own products. So until we get that mindset sorted, we'll end up, being, dependable on the external. But we can do that literally by changing our mindset and beginning to make, like we got SADC and all these. You still don't see much trade in that. There is trade, but there's still some restriction within the countries, to trade in each other, because it's like there's that feeling of, you don't want to deal with your fellow neighbor. It's like, oh, I can have that. I can do what my neighbor is doing. So if my neighbor is producing maize, I can produce maize. So it's that kind of attitude that Africans usually we have, that I think it's holding back. And one thing also is the struggle is still like they're still unstable politically. We are very much unstable. Most of the countries without, we speak of democracy, but it's not in real terms where you can really be free to just do trade, really. So those struggles also makes a restriction, thinking, oh, maybe is this guy supporting the opposition or that? So that makes us, having those fights again to stop us to cooperate together. But I can see in future, basically, I think new generation that is coming up, and new leaders coming up, we might be able to begin to break down these barriers which are holding back the coming unity of Africans. So that is what is holding most of the leaders. We still have old blocks, old chips on the block who are still ruling the countries, and they're still not letting go to bring in new ideas, new things that, can bring unity within Africa. And I'm sure in the near future, the new generation X, which is growing up, will take over the leadership. I'm sure there'll be a change, and, barriers and boundaries will be broken down. And I hope we will have that unity of trading together. Even the ones that have signed up now for, there seem not to be much of any trade happening at the moment. It's just still theoretically and talks about it, but we are not seeing much of trade going on, or really opening up borders for the neighboring countries. So I like what Congo and Zambia, the president, talked about. Hopefully that will break down the barrier which we have between Congo. We've had it illegally most of the time anyway, it's open. But now officially that will be quite maybe a start of maybe we can extend to Angola, we can extend to other countries and therefore maybe open up give an example like we've given an example to democracy. So that's my comment on that.
Okay, Albert, you come in there. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to that, the Congo Zambia agreement. You see, I'll give an example of cobalt, which is a very, very useful metal in the production of electric vehicles, lithium-ion batteries. At the moment, cobalt is costing about $53,000 a ton, and copper is about, I think, 8,500.
Yeah,
somewhere there. But we do not. I mean, we produce a little bit of copper. I think we have of cobalt. We're probably maybe number 10, number 11 in the world. Congo DRC is the top one, but they do not benefit from it. The reason is what David said, there is no value addition.
Yeah.
All Congo does is produce concentrates. And you know where those concentrates are purified to battery quality cobalt?
Yes.
They're done in Finland. That's where they purify it. Why can't we, as Africans or African entrepreneurs, do that? And
Yes.
particularly we in Zambia, I don't know why. We have that. We have all the constituents of a lithium-ion battery. We've got cobalt, we've got nickel, we've got manganese, and we've got graphite. But we can't make a battery. Why?
Yes. So part of these conversations, I want when people listen to the recording of these sessions, they can find meat. And I think we are in the right direction to begin to brainstorm the possible answers and solutions. We are in the last 3 minutes, and I'll conclude in the last 1 minute. Who wants to bring in a possible solution before I put in my own punchline, which I think will be the starting point, because all of us are very, very guilty indeed on loving other people's products rather than our own. We want to bring in the next 2 minutes before I do my last punchline. Wants to come in there? Grace? Okay. Matthew?
I'll just comment, like my brother said, why we need to value adding to the to the products. Basically, we need to, it's the equipment, basically buying the equipment and getting the politicians to mindset. So I hope the president now that he has come in will be able to acquire the machinery and be able to do value adding to the cobalt and all other minerals. So I'm hoping that can be, maybe the diaspora also should look into that as Amakaya Wingi and get it together and acquire the products and go start value adding to that, which will help the development of the country. So my comment on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 hour looks so short, and we don't want to go on 2 hours. Think about people who want to listen to this as a recording. 1 hour goes just so quick. It's a beautiful topic. Let us conclude. The conclusion today, which I would like people to take away from, is number 1, the mindset of Africans must change. And how are we going to change this mindset? Let us begin to love our products.
Yep.
The producers of products and services also, you must engage into quality production. Don't just do it just like that.
No.
My own services, I'm thorough. I'm a picky, I'm telling you. I can see a sawdust on a gold spoon that's polished. Let's beautify our products, our services. That's why Grace is still around with me for after 10 years. Otherwise, she would have gone away from Amakaya Wing. We are quality. So if all the entrepreneurs on the ground in Africa, in the diaspora, you can produce quality services, even your local people will love them. Secondly, on a social side, many of you footballers do not even know your local teams. You don't even have a jersey in your house. I can guarantee you, some of you have got Manchester United placard, you have got David Beckham shirt. Start buying your own teams.
Local teams.
Those people who are in the diaspora, buy your local team shirts, bring them over to the UK, wear it in town. Then people ask you, what is this Mazembe? Educated. As long as I went to Zambia one day, I found Chelsea,
Oh, that's so
painted
awesome.
around a little village. And I said, wow, let's do that here as well. Those small things begin to change.
Yeah.
The third thing, Matthew talked about the coming generation. Our children only copy what parents are doing. If we do not change these little things, they'll still do the same things as we are doing and governments are doing. So let's begin to change. I have recently bought 5 caps labeled Zambia. I've given to my daughter, I've given to my wife, I've given to my mother-in-law, I've given to my little niece in Sheffield. They are all wearing it. I forgot myself. I'm going to buy another one. So these little things change.
Yeah, they do change. Yeah.
So the next program in 2 weeks' time, find something from your country that you're going to wear on your head or your shirt. Let's yes. When we come in this program, don't just come like this. I wear African dress here or African with your country name there. I want us to make this a big thing. We're going to campaign. On my side, I want to tell all the students in the college who are abroad, wear your own material. Let's begin to drive the change by doing these simple actions.
Yes.
And the fourth thing, the narrative. Do not buy into the narrative saying that Africans don't like each other. Africans are not united. That's false. It's a narrative which has been planted in you, and it's not true. A people who's not united can never overcome the hurdles that we've overcome from time immemorial, from political operations, from colonial operations to the present day. Only a united people can come out of that. We are on a journey. So let's have the positive narrative. We are a very united people. All we are doing is relearning certain things which we lost. I thank you so much, people on Facebook. Thank you so much. We love you because you're business people. No, we love you because you're people. And bye for now. See you next week at same time. Business seminar with Dr. John Lukomona and the team of Amakaya Wingi saying bye. And I want in one word each one of you on Zoom to say bye to the Facebook audience and to the Zoom audience in one word. Dr. Mlando.
Thank you very much. Amakaya Wingi works.
Matthew.
Nipo.
David.
Thank you so much. It has been an exciting evening.
Grace.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Bye for now, Facebook.